The lockout of the National Hockey League threatens to derail Major League Hockey this year, but plans are moving ahead for the American Hockey League season next month. A lot of work goes into preparing the rink where the Oklahoma City Barons play their home games. ONR's Steve Bennett watched the process and lent a hand.
Steps in toward the dot, shoots, it was blocked, and the rebound score!
Ice at the Cox Convention Center is a sure sign that hockey season is almost here. Players will begin arriving in a couple of weeks, and crews from SMG, the company responsible for the Cox Convention Center, are speeding up work to get everything ready in time. It doesn't happen nearly this fast. The entire process actually takes a couple of days. Barons spokesman Josh Evans says they start by chilling the floor and putting down a layer of clear ice.
Then they take the same hose that they use and they mix white paint with water, a specialized paint that makes the ice surface white. If you didn't do that, you would have just bare floor with underneath and it would look ugly.
After that, it's time for the markings that hockey fans are familiar with, such as the blue lines, the face-off dots, and the goal creases. This year, the Barons selected 2 fans to help install the new surface.
It was an opportunity for somebody to do something that not a lot of people get to do. And so when you come to a hockey game, people may wonder, how in the world does that ice get there? And this is how it's done.
For Alan Wallace, it doesn't get much better than this.
I've seen the process on TV and being a part of it, it's just a one-in-a-lifetime experience. It's really cool to see how they lay the layers and then paint and then layers. So it's just a lot of fun and very entertaining.
Dennis Egan is a huge fan. He even met his wife at a hockey game. The whole process fascinates him.
And we've been comparing stories about the way they've had to do changeovers from basketball to hockey and back. We were talking about how Staples Center went through 6 games in 4 days, switching from Kings hockey to the Lakers to the Clippers, back to hockey, back to basketball.
Dennis and Alan got to help paint the center line and the blue lines. That takes a steady hand and a good eye.
The blue line is about a foot wide, and when you're painting, you want to make sure you stay inside that line and not drip any paint. You can't put your hand down on the ice surface because at that point it's still pretty thin. If you were to do that, you'd melt a handprint into the ice, and then they'd be mad.
The Barons even gave me a chance to do a little ice painting. It's harder than it looks. You don't have to be perfect. Several layers of ice will hide most imperfections, but this goes way beyond that. But we got it cleaned up, and after all the markings were finished, it was time for the logos. Those used to be painted on as well, but now it's done with a special textile fabric. The logos are put together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, then anchored in place with a fine coating of ice. After that, crews bring out a fire hose to finish the job. The Barons do this so well, SMG sends crews from other cities to Oklahoma to learn their technique. Greg Tasson is a general manager for SMG facilities in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He says every venue is different.
These are large buildings. They have their own environments inside. They have their own unique pieces of mechanical equipment. So every building's got a different refrigeration package. Every building's got a different air conditioning system. So they have their own environments, and that environment affects the ability to make ice.
Players are scheduled to report to training camp the first week of October. Evans says because of the lockout in the National Hockey League, fans in Oklahoma will have the chance to see some players they wouldn't see otherwise, including overall #1 draft pick Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
We're comparing him, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, for example, to a Sam Bradford or a Blake Griffin, that they were that good that they were thought of to be drafted #1 overall for their sport, and to have the impact that a potential #1 overall can have on a team. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is having with the Oilers, and people in Oklahoma City will have a chance to see him play.
When the Barons take the ice for their home opener October 19th, they'll be skating on one of the best surfaces around.